Okay. Hello, you guys. So it is definitely time for another health update. Definitely time. And I don't even know where to start. Other than, I want to continue a bit on what I talked about last time. So I talked a lot about the House of Horrors aspect, how, I keep going through different feelings from different years, different emotional states, because my thyroid and stuff is improving, and it's just really, really weird because it's the kind of thing where it improves. I think it will improve first mentally and psychologically, so emotionally and mentally, and then the body will follow. It's one of those things. And I will say that the hormone levels or the mindsets or the levels of, like I said, different hormones in me, it is progressing pretty fast. The last time I talked to you guys, I said I felt like 2016 or something, or probably around there. And now I feel pretty much deep into 2015. So I feel like the way I did right around the time that I came out of the closet, right around the time that I was in Australia. And it's just weird because I think the way the body works, people don't understand all the time, or they don't think of it this way, but everything that you've experienced, your body has been there. Every breakup, every hardship, every challenge, every joy, every single thing, your body has been with you through that process. So every single thing on a physical level, obviously, my body has been there with me. And I've been through a lot. And I think that what's currently happening is that as I adjust my hormonal shifts and as I get towards earlier levels of hormones, it's like I'm turning back the clock with my body. Because I think, especially the way that society is oriented with the pollution and the different foods that are promoted as healthy, and even certain activities like smoking weed and drinking alcohol that are very, very, very promoted in society, all of these things raise estrogen, as I've pointed out. So I think what tends to happen in modern society is that if something bad happens to you and you get that trauma, and that trauma spikes up the estrogen, it never goes back down. And so I think I've been thinking a lot about this, and I feel like a lot of us are living in very unnatural states of being. And I see this in society where people cannot get over things in the past. People cannot get over certain hurts, or people want to look at things that upset them in order to give them energy and all these different things. And for me now, physically and mentally, the way that my brain is working, it's like a lot of that trauma just never happened, because I've actually been purging the estrogen through the toilet. I'm just going to be real. I know that that's graphic, but your liver deals with it and gets rid of it. Because I've been dealing with it and purging it, and as the months have gone by, it's getting better and better and better. And so it's all the trauma that I went through is going away from my body. My body is letting go of those traumas and of those hardships. And with that comes similar internal stimuli that reminds me of times in the past. And unfortunately for me, a lot of my past is not necessarily roses and sunshine. It's really hard things, like coming out of the closet and, you know, not understanding what was going on with my first love and long distance dating and just all these different things, which of course I'm still doing a lot of it. So it's really easy to slip into older patterns or to feel a certain way. Like even having Biden in office, it's reminiscent of the Obama era. Like, and it's reminiscent, like it reminds me of how I felt about the government when I was younger. At those ages, you know, when I felt the way that I feel, like, so it's just a very strange thing to feel so past, like, and it's like every time I adjust to it, it changes again. And it's like, oh shit, you know, like the last time I talked to you guys, it was 2016. I was super anxious, super emo, super victim-y in 2016, super bitter. And I was feeling some of that way. And now I feel like 2015, which is like really sad and, you know, having to deal with a life changed. And it's kind of like the beginning of a lot of my trauma was at that time, because it was after I took chances and did things. And it feels really like such a strange reliving of it, because there are some certain physical or spiritual things going on right now that are really similar to spiritual things that went on in 2015. And so to have the physicality, like have the way my brain is working and the way my hormones are reflect that same year when I'm going through something just as big, is really, really fascinating, but also disturbing. You know, it really is kind of disturbing, because it makes me feel sad sometimes. Like, it's made me relive some of my past and, you know, read my blogs and stuff from that time. And oh my gosh, like if I didn't sound like an SJW back then, I don't know who did. Holy shit. I did. Like, I wrote blog posts like, you know, if somebody does something to me now, there's a consequence. There never was before. And I love myself. I don't need anybody else to love me. And just like really gay stuff like that was being said at that time. And I think a lot of people maybe don't understand like why I have a sort of self-esteem, I guess. And it really came from that time. It was a time of my life when I just said, screw it. You know, who says I have to play by the rules? Who says that I have to be something that I'm not? I'm not going to do that anymore. And so I said, fuck it, basically. And I said, you know, there's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing more wrong with me than with anyone else. And I don't have anything, like I'm no worse than anyone else, you know. And this had a lot to do with my Christian conversion too, because I knew God loved me, and it just really changed everything. And I wasn't an SJW anymore after that, because I had a sense of self-worth. I had a sense of just self-esteem, or just knowing that I deserved something in life. I deserved to live the life I was supposed to live. But it is strange to feel similarly to how I did at the time, because it was very unstable. I was very, very unstable and even kind of selfish at the time. Like, and sometimes in life it's good to be that way. You know, sometimes in life it's bad to be that way. But for me, when I was at that stage and I was coming out and everything, it was good for me to be selfish at that time, because I had given up everything to everyone else. And I wasn't going to do that anymore. And even me saying that sounds like an SJW, which is cringe. But it's just, it's where I was at, and I was staring down at this massive personal shift that I literally call my personal awakening. You know, it was a huge deal for me at that time, and that year has forever changed my life, because it was just a complete turning point to everything prior to that year. It was just so different after it, because I was out of the closet. I had a sense of humor. I was exploring and trying things and going for it and taking chances and saying, I'm not going to be in my room anymore. I'm not going to not do anything anymore. I can't live like this anymore. I just can't live like this anymore. And it feels reflective of today, because I feel the same way. I don't want to cry, but I'm really emotional too. It's really a lot. But I feel exactly the same way now. But this time I feel that way about my health. Like, I've said it many times, you know, on this channel, and I've said it just recently in one of my last videos, like, especially like change internally is really, really difficult for me. And, you know, I've been changing ever since 2015. I never did before that. And ever since, I've been ever changing. But right now, like, the way that this is, it's such a just drastic, a change to such an extreme level on every single level, like externally, internally, physically, mentally, spiritually. Every single thing is changing right now in such a drastic way. I'm letting go of like my daddy issues and like the issues I've had with men and stuff. I'm accepting who I am truly deep down, like on such a deeper level than just, you know, there's something really different from accepting your sexuality, which is just a part of you, to accepting every single part of you. Accepting everything, even if it goes against the narrative. Accepting everything, even if nobody understands. Even if you've had to put it all on the line and been on your own like I was last year, and you're the only one that gets it. I still, like today, I accept every single part of me. Every single thing. I understand the reality of who I am, and I completely and unapologetically accept it. And I will build my life around who I am, because being overweight is just not me. Not dressing with style is just not me. You know, being the man in a relationship is just not me. Being in charge, being in control of that type of thing is just not me. But also being silent is just not me. You know, I could never be silent about my beliefs, my politics, my religion, my anything. I can't be silent these days. Like, I've found my voice, and there's nothing that can take that away. Because I've just realized, like, and see, this is what I mean. Like, I feel like I did in 2015. So it's like the hormones being that way, it makes me realize different things because I'm older and I have a different perspective. And it's like, there's not a dime that could make me do something I don't want to do. There's not a relationship that can make me do something I don't want to do. There's not anything in this world that will make me stamp myself down and force myself through something ever again. Ever again. Not for anyone or anything. Never again. And I feel like my life has been a series of this lesson being shoved in my face over and over again. Every time I stamp myself down, every time I try to force myself to do something I don't want to do, things go wrong. They go horribly wrong. And I will never do that again. Even if I'm alone, even if I'm broke, even if I have nothing, I will never do that, because for me, having integrity is really important. Because I care about it. So I'm never going to be what I'm not ever again. Or I'm never going to try ever again. Because I am a person of integrity. And that's what I'm realizing is like, it's all kind of coming together. And I'm seeing everything. And like, my favorite astrologer that I always talk about, he asks like the question, like, if you had all the money in the world, where would you be and what would you be doing? And I realized that I would be here doing what I'm doing now. And that felt incredible. To just realize like I am living in integrity right now. Everything that I'm doing, I want to do. I'm not doing anything because I'm being forced to. Everything I'm doing is because that's what I want. That's what I feel I need to do. I'm living with integrity. Doing the diet the way I'm doing, recovering the way I am, doing this YouTube channel, being in the relationship that I'm in, living with my mom and helping her the way that I am, building things back in my life the way that I am, and having this time, this very, very special time. Because even my job, like, I may not love it, but it's really helpful for me to have something that I need to do at this time. Because if I didn't have to work or anything right now, I think I would be going completely nuts. So I think the repetition of it, it's just helping me right now. So it's something I would still do, even if I didn't have to, which that's crazy to say, but it's true. And that's kind of everything. And the thing that scares me is that, like, upon all these decisions and upon knowing all this, like, and knowing that physical changes are coming and they're happening now. They are. I mean, it's not always going to be drastic to you guys, but it's very obvious to me that my body is changing and things are shifting, especially since I started going to the gym, which I had a huge amount of estrogen released after I went to the gym, probably by fat loss, and then it went away, and I'm ready to go again tomorrow. I do full body. So I told you guys that was a big step for me, because that for me is being all in. You know, I've told people like that I'm doing this, and it just doesn't matter, because like any of the consequences, because this is me. This isn't me. And it's like, I remember reading this spiritual thing. It's gay, but it was about like how spiritual diseases or spiritual things can lead to physical issues. And I looked at it and I said, you know, what is the spiritual cause of hypothyroidism? And it said to deny your identity or to deny yourself, to not express yourself is the cause of hypothyroid. And they said that hypothyroidism mostly affects women because women are taught not to express themselves. in society and stuff like that. And I thought that was really interesting because it was just like, wow, like, it's true, and I don't know if I have more courage now, or if that my thyroid is getting better, or if it is just a sign. I don't know. I don't really understand that stuff, but all I can tell you is that this time is difficult. It's really, really hard, emotionally especially, because I'm feeling everything so much more. And like, as I get healthier, I'm becoming more and more feminine. I'm becoming more of who I really am. And it's scary because it's hard to feel so deeply in a world like this, because I'm becoming very sensitive and very emotional again. And I think a lot of that was cut off because I had to survive. And it's like, I don't have to just survive anymore. Like, I can recover even through one of the shittiest times in our country's history, and even through everything, I can still do this because I have God. You can hear my stomach doing flips. And God's timing is just, He doesn't care at all about what's happening in the world. His timing is His. And I found a little slice of stability in an incredibly unstable world. So I'm very thankful. But it's scary in a way to become softer again. But I still have my experience because I'm older. So I try not to be scared because I know a lot more than I did before. So I think I'll be okay. But to feel again and to feel as deeply as I always did, it's just kind of incredible to be getting some of these things back that I never thought I would get back. I thought I had just gotten older. And I'm realizing that a lot of what I thought was getting older was actually hypothyroid. So, anyways, you guys, I expect a lot of changes to come. And I'm scared because I know that I can't go back. I can't go back to eating the PUFAs ever because I know too much. And I know that since I know too much and I won't ever go back, it makes me know that this diet experience and what I'm doing now is permanent. I will not be able to go back. Therefore, the weight is coming off whether I want it to or not. I am changing whether I want to or not, because I can't go back to that, because I just have too much worth for myself to eat shit. I just can't do it anymore. I look at it and I see what it's made of. I know that it's poison, and it's just like, I can't do that to my body. I cannot eat, chicken wings again. I just can't do that because of those oils. It's like, I can't eat at a restaurant again. I can't do that kind of stuff. Like, I'm not saying I'd never eat at a restaurant. I'm just saying, like, I can't just not care or just not think about what I'm doing like I used to. Because I can't unsee what I've seen. I can't forget what I know. And so it's like, I know it's hard to to understand if you've never had a realization or such a big moment like that, but I can't go back to the way I was before. I can't, and that scares me because it makes me feel kind of trapped in a way. But I know that this is what's best, but it's scary. It really is. I don't have any other word to say but scary. Because I don't think I could stomp myself down even if I wanted to. Because like, as soon as I'm not sore, like I was getting not sore today, I wanted to go back to the gym. And it's because I'm getting healthier, I just want to do these things. It's not something that I'm forcing myself to. I'm healthier with the thyroid, and it's creating a healthier mental health, which is leading me to want to do these things. Like, I want to dress better. I want to look better. I want to go to the gym. I want to be healthier. I want to have more good times in my life. I want more stability. You know, it's like I'm wanting things that are good for me. And before, I don't think I ever did. I know that that sounds awful, but I'm just being real. I think the hypothyroidism, it sort of does something to your brain, and you don't want what's good for you. And yeah, so anyways, you guys, that was really long and weird. I'm sorry. I've been trying to make a video about this forever, but because of the way my mental state is right now, I'm really all over the place and emotional, and I'm just figuring it out. So I'm going to go ahead and post this because I've been wanting to share this stuff with you guys for a long time. So take it for what you will, and I will talk to you guys again later. Bye.